What's going on, everybody? Michael here with Ford of Murfreesboro, and today I'll just jump straight into it. Last week we put up a video about the new 2017 Super Duty. It's a great new truck. It's an awesome redesign. Everybody's been putting out videos on it, but like immediately after we put up that video, I was already wanting to do this one, which I consider to be very much a companion piece, and it's 5 things that you should know about if you're looking to buy the new Super Duty. So number 1, this might seem like a little thing, and maybe a whole bunch of people know this and I just didn't, but when I started doing videos on Super Duties, I did not know that running boards did not come standard. Running boards are always an option on Super Duties. 2017 is the first time that Ford is offering the power deployable running boards from the factory. I mean, you could get them from aftermarket, but this is the first year that Ford's offering power deployable running boards. But they don't come standard, and the reason that that's so important to point out is because I am 6 feet tall. If one of these trucks, including, this is a Lariat and this doesn't have running boards on it, it's still a pretty significant step up for me to get into the truck. So if you've got a spouse who's maybe on the shorter side, 5'4", 5'5", and you say, hey honey, can you go and start up the truck, she actually is probably going to have a bit of a hard time climbing into the vehicle. And so you should know that going into it, to really look and pay attention to what kind of running boards are on your truck, what kind of running boards you want, because that's really going to make a big difference in how the truck looks and how you're going to use it. The second thing we want to talk about is a feature that a lot of people have discussed in their videos, but they haven't always discussed it accurately, or they haven't really got in depth enough with it, and that is the 7 cameras that are available on the new Super Duty. Yes, there are technically 7 available cameras, but for the most part, I think you're only going to realize that there's about 5. It's got a front-facing camera, it's got a rear-facing camera, it's got the Chimsel camera, which is in the light at the back of the cab. It has the 2 side mirror cameras. Now those 5 are pretty much standard. Everybody knows about those. Now the other 2, there is one that is up right behind your rear view mirror. That is, yes, it's a camera, but you can't ever see out of it. It's the camera that the truck's computer uses to analyze for lane departure warning. And the last camera is available on trailers, so you can hook up a camera to your trailer that wires into your truck, and that way when you put the truck in reverse, you can actually see what's behind your trailer instead of just what's behind your truck, which when you're towing a trailer is a trailer. The third thing we think you should know when you're looking to buy a Super Duty, another feature that people have talked a lot about with 2017, is adaptive steering. And the way that everybody has pretty much explained it is that when you're driving this vehicle and you take a turn, adaptive steering goes left and it's going to turn it even further left to make it so you don't have to turn the steering wheel as far to make a turn. But there are a couple things that people don't really ever mention about that. The first of which is that it is not consistent across all speeds. Adaptive steering comes more into play at lower speeds, so when you're in a parking lot, most commonly, that's when it's going to have the most effect or help you the most with your turning. But if you're on the interstate and you're looking to change lanes, it's not, and you're going 70 miles an hour, adaptive steering comes into play a lot less. The computer regulates itself and it sort of integrates itself less when you're at higher speeds. And the second thing that people don't really know about adaptive steering is that it is an optional feature on the Super Duty, but it is not a system that you can turn on and off. When you get adaptive steering on your vehicle, it's on and it's on forever. If you don't have adaptive steering, it's obviously never on. The fourth thing you should know about if you're looking to buy one of these trucks is that you should know about the Bliss system that Ford puts into their vehicles. And Ford has put Bliss into its blind spot detection. Ford's put it into their vehicles for several years now. And it's a great system, works really well, helps prevent a lot of accidents. What's new to 2017, specifically to the Super Duty, is that Bliss now extends to your trailer. When you hook up a trailer and you connect it to your truck, you have to go in and do a little bit of tinkering with the settings, but blind spot detection then applies to your trailer. It extends the range that the sensors are active, giving you just a little bit more help when you're going down the road, specifically when you're on the interstate, to make sure that when you're changing lanes, you're not driving into anybody. And finally, last thing, guys, before we sign off here, we want to talk a little bit about the towing of the Super Duties. Everybody talks about the towing, it's what it's mainly used for, but here's a less than commonly addressed element to towing with one of these trucks. And that is that the length of your cab affects your towing capacity. It has a lot to do with how these suspensions are set up, a lot of technical talk, but here's a basic example of what I mean. If you are in an F-250 4x4, towing gooseneck, in a crew cab, which is what we're driving now, crew cab Lariat, in a crew cab, the towing capacity for gooseneck on this truck is 14,700 pounds. Now that's still a really good number, but if you go to a super cab, that towing capacity goes up to 15,400 pounds. If you go up to a regular cab, that goes up to 16,500 pounds. So even though they're all F-250s, even though they are all 4x4, even though they're all the same year, same engine, same everything else, the length of your cab is going to affect your towing capacity, and that's something you should really keep in mind, depending on what you're towing, depending on what you want to use it for, and something you should know when you're going in to buy the vehicle. And that's going to do it for us today, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this quick little video about 5 things that you should know if you're looking to buy a Super Duty. We hope we've covered some things that you haven't seen in a lot of other videos, and because of that, we hope you really like us, and that, you know, you like the video, you subscribe to our channel, you do all that stuff that makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and gives us that self-validation that we so desperately crave. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the comment section below, or you can email us at youtube@fordofmurfreesboro.com. If you'd like to call us, you can give us a call. Our number is 888-439-1265. Thanks for viewing.